John Dale. John is going to be talking about work that we've been doing on JPEG XS.
Okay, so I'm going to take a few minutes to explain what the JPEG XS Interoperability Activity Group has been up to over the last few months, and then give you an idea of when we expect to be completely finished. Just a couple of slides here. Try to get this done in 5 minutes. So JPEG XS, really quickly, this is a coding standard. JPEG XS is for extra small. This was designed to be a near lossless, um, very low latency, low complexity codec. And it seems to be embraced in the community for low latency remote production, low latency contribution transport. It's applicable to SD, HD, UHD, and also can handle high dynamic range or wide color gamut content. The rates here, I'm just quoting some of the JPEG XS rates. We'll talk a little bit more when we get the capability sets, what the rates are for interoperability, but near lossless at 6:1, virtually lossless at 10:1, smooth, lossy compression beyond that, and robust over multiple coding cycles. Also, low power consumption, less processing and memory is needed. So it is suitable for, or more suitable for CPU applications than JPEG 2000 was. So this is the objectives of the team that's been working on this. Create a technical recommendation primarily focused at wide area network applications, which utilizes JPEG XS coding and MPEG-2TS SMPTE 2022-2 IP encapsulation. This work is going to be TR07. Second piece of work is to create a recommendation for JPEG XS coding utilizing SMPTE 2110 22 encapsulation, and that work is going to be TR08. We took a little bit different approach, especially on the TR08 work, in terms of not just having single interoperability point, but a capability set for a application which would have multiple interoperability points, which would be pretty typical for that application. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a second. But generally, we're covering the typical broadcast 2K formats, frame rates, and sampling, as well as 4K and 8K applications, including HDR and wide color gamut. We're looking at including multimedia extensions, including RGB, 444 sampling, 8-bit and 12-bit depths as well. Also, we include recommendations for a complete system, including audio, ancillary data, and robust transmission. We're going to, although we haven't kicked this off yet, we're going to organize a file exchange online workshop. We can't do a, obviously we can't do a face-to-face workshop, but I think there's a lot to be gained in file exchanges. So we're gonna kick that off fairly shortly once we complete the documents. And then the last point is actually part of our effort for the TR08 team was to assist in moving the IETF draft for JPEG XS RTP payload from a draft document to a standard RFC. So we've been working on that just recently. So quick note on capability sets. This is a little bit different than some of the work we did earlier on JPEG 2000, is that we've identified specific capability sets and functionality relative to that capability set. What you're looking at on the screen is for full HD. There's also conformance levels for UHD1 and UHD2. Each one of these capability sets stands by itself, so that an implementer could choose to implement capability set A, and that would work for specific applications. Or you could decide to do capability set B, C, or D. You wouldn't have to do all of them, but you could do a single one. And then there's going to be interoperable points within that capability set. Just some other activity here. We have been trying to coordinate with the other VSF activity groups who you just heard from. Obviously, you see that there's a lot of work going on that uses the same, some of the same building blocks, so that we want to be well coordinated. We're coordinating with the RISC team, with the 2110 WAN team as well. JPEG XS may be used in both of those applications. This is status. So the document editing team meets regularly. We have been trying to keep in sync with the other teams. Tier 07 is complete and parked, awaiting confirmation of the RAN licensing availability. Ongoing effort to complete Tier 08, which is substantially complete, with final effort on capability set and interop points ongoing. We haven't discussed the file exchange workshop, but that should be able to be taken up shortly. And then we expect that this activity group could be complete within the next 30 to 60 days. So we're mostly done and looking forward to having that completed. So with that, I want to thank you for your time and hand this back to Brad.
Okay, great. John, thank you very much. And again, if you're interested in more information on that, or you want to join the group, although it is winding down, as John said, you're welcome to contact John.